Hi everyone, in today's video we'll be covering civilization diseases focusing on diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity along with metabolic diseases. We can also include cardiovascular and neurodegenerative diseases, worldwide suffering caused by pathologies that inflict the most harm on humanity. However, what is the first medicine to act on all this? Do you think it's better to wait until these issues arise and then respond? No, it's not. The primary form of preventive medicine is undoubtedly prevention. Therefore, it involves upstream of having preventive attention. In everyday life, this occurs daily. So what is the primary preventive medicine for pathologies? Well, it's fasting. We will explain some points. Unlike intermittent fasting, dry fasting is the fasting. Most advanced, it generates the most autophagy, a strong tonic response, and the best immune response, etc. We discuss intermittent fasting in great detail, and it has been thoroughly studied. However, dry fasting has not been researched, which is unfortunate. So let's explore the key aspects of preventive medicine that need attention. It should be practiced. Intermittent fasting is excellent, as I do it for 16 hours daily, but for real results, you need more. For effective prevention, there are two methods: short dry fast weekly and a long one annually. I recommend one or two if required. If a disease occurs, expect 3 in 18 months, which is approximately the average. So, dry fasting results in purification and deep cellular cleansing through two processes. This involves autophagy, the recycling of cellular waste, bacteria, viruses, and parasites, recycling all dysfunctional elements in the body. This process, known as autophagy, won a Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2016, allowing cells to cleanse themselves, burning and eliminating accumulated toxins as fuel. The tissues become lighter, thus creating this autophagy effect, which is also associated with a profound detoxification. So a detox, intracellular, extracellular detox of the blood, detox of the excretory organs, detox of the organs. This is the general detoxification. I won't go into detail. You have in my course those who wish to grasp all these phenomena. It's a 1-hour video on detox. I won't delve into details here. But deep cellular purification during dry fasting is part of prevention. It's already about emptying the trash bins from time to time, either once a week, once a year, or twice a year. We do it like a car service. Thus, the foundation of naturopathy is detox means cleaning. It means emptying the trash. Thus, dry fasting is currently the most powerful detox therapy, the cellular cleansing therapy in the world. You can take any plants, do saunas, sweat, play sports, take cold baths, and do whatever you want, but you still can't succeed. You can reach an intracellular cleaning and a lymphatic system detox that is as effective as a dry fast, thanks to your saunages. At this point, the system is entirely at rest, providing you with the maximum energy possible. Regenerating after a dry fast with stem cells means complete rest. During this time, you have maximum energy. It's important to know that digestion consumes 40 to 60% of your energy. So if you're constantly digesting, you can't recover. Second point, reduction of inflammation and prevention of chronic diseases. A lot of pathologies are due to chronic inflammation, or CRP, what we call reactive proteins. So the inflammatory marker that is shown in a blood test spikes, but we shouldn't only look at that. We should especially look at low-grade inflammation. This is what interests us in a blood analysis. All doctors do not ask for this, but it is the basis for detecting a pathology. is whether you have low-level inflammation that signals a sneaky inflammation that is already rising quietly, while dry fasting helps to reduce any inflammatory phenomenon, whether it is an autoimmune disease. There is always inflammation in chronic pathologies. There is always inflammation. Dry fasting helps to cut inflammation, to bring down acceptable cytokine levels. We talked a lot about these pro-inflammatory cytokines during COVID. Well, dry fasting was the best therapy during COVID, but no one thought of it. Not many people thought of it. There are a few who did, but not enough for my taste. Well, we had a first-level therapy on viral infectious pathologies, spikes, proteins, etc. You had everything eliminated. Rapid autophagy. Therefore, this chronic illness leads to a significant reduction in the risk of diabetes, arthritis, arteriosclerosis, and autoimmune disorders. We have talked about it all. I am unsure how you manage to significantly lower any kind of inflammation. That's the point. Point 3 discusses the regulation of metabolism and blood pressure. When it comes to fasting, we can also mention water fasting, which also affects blood pressure. However, dry fasting is more effective and quicker. It allows for a deeper and more stable state. Achieving 1 day of dry fasting is equivalent to 3 days of water fasting, meaning you require far fewer days to attain optimal results. Additionally, dry fasting has a genuine healing effect that water fasting may lack, or it necessitates extreme measures with risks like exhaustion and demineralization if water fasts are prolonged. I know you do not encounter this issue, and you have a greater number of stem cells for repair, resulting in improved healing and significantly less loss of trace elements and minerals during dry fasting compared to water fasting. And less fatigue means more energy after dry fasting compared to water fasting. For this reason, we advocate for dry fasting rather than water fasting, which is far more effective for therapeutic results. Thus, you enhance the reduction of metabolism, particularly concerning insulin, effectively lowering it. Insulin drops blood sugar, leading to fat loss. During dry fasting, some have lost 3 kilos daily, especially very obese people. The best therapy for weight management is a topic I won't delve into here. It's covered in a video within the dry fasting course where we explore it in detail. In detail, we discuss weight and how to stabilize it. Understanding various mechanisms like thyroid function and microbiota is crucial. Dry fasting can lead to obese individuals stabilizing their weight completely, proving its effectiveness. For me, it's one of the best therapies, surpassing hypnosis and nutrition. Naturally, it involves nutrition. If you neglect it while dry fasting, weight loss is unlikely, especially if you consume sugar throughout the day, as there will be no improvement. Here is direct intervention for type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease. Dry fasting is very effective for all metabolic issues, blood pressure and so on, etc. Point 4 discusses the reserve effect of the uterine system, indicating that there is a cleansing of white blood cells through processes like methophagy, autophagy, and mitophagy. This leads to a significant elimination of dysfunctional cells, especially white blood cells, which are reconstructed as soon as food intake resumes. This is why during a dry fast, there is a period of 3 to 4 weeks for reintroducing food. This is the main focus today. Therefore, it is crucial to continue this gradual increase. We have made some adjustments compared to the original Russian model, which emphasized carbohydrate intake immediately after fasting. We have moved away from that outdated approach. So the Russians still follow this method of consuming carbohydrates when breaking the fast, but I have completely shifted away from that. We have progressed based on new research. We have recognized this, and we have refined our food reintroduction strategies. It is no longer the same reintroduction process we used to follow at the start. So it's truly a complete reset. A cellular reset where the damaged emitting cells are entirely renewed and regenerated through autophagy. We recycle and create new cells. This is why, at present, dry fasting is considered the top therapy for all autoimmune diseases. When any autoimmune therapy is introduced, even for cancer in its early stages, dry fasting provides the best response and the most favorable results. Nevertheless, we must always consider what surrounds us. It's not just about engaging in dry fasting, but also optimizing everything around it. Lifestyle hygiene, nutrition, physical activity, and emotional well-being. We work in harmony with these factors. If we neglect this, we can achieve results, but if we revert to our previous habits, we shouldn't expect extraordinary outcomes. That's it. Point 4. Dry fasting is not trivial. It must be practiced with good preparation and proper follow-up during the fast and a good resumption afterward. It's a whole process. I always say that dry fasting is a double-edged sword. It can greatly improve you, but it can also harm you if you make mistakes before, during, or after. That's why we now have training available in French and English, where you get all the explanations I provide. It's much more in-depth than what I offer in retreats. You can't go wrong with the training. The game and the book don't cover everything, but you have a lot of information in the book. So there you go. So that's the effect. It's very therapeutic, particularly in dry fasting and also in terms of psychological and emotional health. Depression, anxiety, discomfort. This technique boosts you to a new level and provides fuel. Your body is purified, you feel great, and you're proud of completing a cleanse, especially after a dry fast. Being in depression is nearly impossible after coming out of burnout. Overcoming depression means you have pride and are feeling good. Or you can start something new in your life. You have this kind of effect. Here's the reset button. Starting from scratch feels right. You no longer crave junk food and can rebuild your life on healthy psychological foundations. This breaks dependencies, enhances discipline, soothes the mind, improves confidence, and connects you to yourself through fasting. You gain self-awareness and reconnect with many things afterward. So there you go. You have an inner dimension that gets boosted when you come out of a dry fast. And there it is. It's more than just a deprivation test. It's an initiatory challenge. Dry fasting is a transformative experience, a therapy for personal growth, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Many claim fasting isn't therapeutic, but it really is. For me, I wouldn't call it nonsense, but I do hear that fasting is therapeutic, and abstaining from drinking and eating has an effect at the end of this initiatory trial. You gain significant therapeutic benefits at different levels, varying from one individual to another. It depends on the person, their morphology, metabolism, how they prepared, what they did during the fast, how they came out of it, etc. There are therapeutic effects that vary from person to person, but in any case you always have positive effects for anyone as long as fasting is indicated. There are contraindications. You shouldn't do a dry fast blindly. You've seen a video, I don't know, you should inform yourself. You need to make an appointment with a professional, read a lot, and have references, but references with people who practice dry fasting. Practicing dry fasting isn't just about fasting on your own. It's about having the experience of people who accompany groups. All the people you see on YouTube theorizing about dry fasting is great, but it remains their experience to speak about it. You compare it to what they have lived because you are different. You have a different way of functioning. So the references in dry fasting are people who accompany others, who tell you things, people who support groups. You can listen to what they say more or less. They have a voice, that's it. But all the people who tell you to do this or that, I know what experience they have in discussing dry fasting just personally. It's personal, it's them, but they can't speak generally because they lack the expertise and experience of seeing multiple people and following patients. There's still a big difference between fasting oneself and accompanying people in a therapeutic process. These are two things that are really different. So it's always a dry fasting coach who must fast themselves. If they are a therapist, well, yes, that's a plus. And then accompanying people in this therapy, well, we arrive at a certain knowledge behind it. Today was all about fasting, which is the top therapy. It's all about prevention. You shouldn't wait until you're ill. I see individuals arriving at the office with lists of medications and advanced pathologies. Today is good, but you should have come earlier when you were healthy. Seeing healthy individuals come to the office with nothing at all brings me joy because we examine the finer points. What can be enhanced? Yes, you eat this and you're somewhat stressed. I believe there's still room for improvement. We fine-tune the details, which helps stabilize and truly provides a preventive effect, allowing people to age gracefully without health issues. This is the preventive aspect. To me, it's the most crucial medicine that emphasizes prevention. No one else does this. Preventive medicine means fasting, regularly cleaning, paying attention to stress, exercising, managing nutrition, handling stress, and occasionally detoxifying to lighten and rest both the physical and emotional body. It's beneficial to do this regularly, whether weekly, biannually, or annually. Find the rhythm that suits you. That's everything for today. I'll see you soon in the next video, which will take place in the mountains. So, in 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be with a new group in the mountains for our fasting retreat. See you later. Bye.